So I worked for the Boys and Girls Club for 2 years, I think. And then before that, I worked for a not-for-profit organization, Leave Out Violence, and I was also a youth there. And then as I got older, I was a counselor at their camp as well. And I also took on different projects in different schools, and I would go as like a support worker for another individual, and you would go to like the schools and create programs for those kids as well. And I know that's where my background is, that's where my base is. And I did that for a few years, most of my life. And then I was like, okay, I went to school for flights, and I was like, okay, I went at a hotel for a year, and I despised it. It was not for me. I love people, but you have to have a certain kind of personality to be like hospitable to adults. And I realized that wasn't me. Like, I can do it for kids because they need it, but to do it for adults and try to find that you're not doing anything, you're not helping anybody, you're not changing anybody's lives, you're just like serving them. And I just didn't like that. I didn't feel like I was changing anybody's lives. I didn't feel like I was giving back in any way. It just wasn't fulfilling for me. So I stopped working at the hotel, and then that was my chance to figure out whether I wanted to go back to working with youth or to try something different. So I decided to try something different and work with young people, work with babies, children between the ages of 1 and 3. And I've always loved babies. Like, who doesn't like babies? They're amazing. So I went for an interview. I got hired on the spot. And then I've been working with children ever since. And I've worked at 3 different daycare centers. And the daycare center I'm at right now is amazing. It's set up so beautifully in such a beautiful space, and everything's wood, and the kids get to go on trips, and the parents are amazing. And I feel that fulfilling aspect of my life returned to me. I'm giving back to people. I'm basically raising these parents, their kids. I'm raising them because these parents are all in, they're like neurosciences, or they're like work for like big corporations, and they're not really a part of their children's life, sadly enough. And it's our job to replace that and, nurture them and love them and teach them how to use the washroom, teach them how to walk, teach them how to talk, teach them how to interact, teach them how to like emotionally regulate themselves. And these are things that even adults struggle with, that when you realize that when you work with kids, like sometimes there's adults that are unable to emotionally regulate themselves. They don't know how to regulate their emotions. And by you helping a child do that, you end up helping yourself as well. And I feel like that's why I got into the work, and that's why I'll probably stay in this work for the rest of my life.